Saturnalia. What is up, alienARMy? I am Oculus, the alien next door, purveyor of esoteric lore. And on this channel, we discuss everything out of this world. So today's topic, we are going to be discussing matters relating to Saturn, aka the definition of the word Saturnalia. This is an ancient pagan festival which can be translated to a whole lot of things, such as carnival, matters relating to Saturn, Saturn as in the planet that was purported to be the sun in ancient times until a purported cataclysmic event occurred and then pushed Saturn further away from Earth, henceforth making him the furthest outer planet at the time that was visible,
before high-tech telescopes and things like that.
Saturn was purported to be the outermost planet after that cataclysmic event. The solstice, which is in regards to the sun, which was believed to be Saturn in ancient times, did take place on December 25th. When the calendars changed from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, the dates as well changed. The pagan festival of Saturnalia began on December 17th and then proceeded along to December 23rd. Hence the reason why I'm filming this video, because it is during the time of Saturnalia. Lord Saturn wanted to come through and give me some channeled information for you all. So
today's video is kindly sponsored by Lord Saturn. Did you know that the area where Saturn is placed in your natal astrological chart is an area where you are likely to be recognized in for your exceptional achievements? And that is absolutely right. You want to think of Jupiter as the free gift. You want to think of Saturn as the gift that keeps on giving, because the area where Saturn is placed in your astrological chart is where you will leave your greatest legacy. This is an area where you want to exceed in, you want to excel in, you want to perfect your art form in the area where Saturn is placed, and he shall reap for you some great motherfucking rewards. Dedicated effort, friends. That's Saturn. Thank you, Lord Saturn, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the show.
I do have a few other videos
in matters relating to Saturn,
which if I remember I'll link them below, which gets more into the technical terms and the history. What I told you right now was a brief example. If you want to check out the other videos for more like streamlined, in-depth, historical.
I mean, it's not too historical because it's my fucking video.
This is a video about channeled information. So Saturn wanted me to film this today because I wanted to update the whole connotation, because it is around that time of Saturnalia, aka now known as Christmas, which I personally don't believe in. That's just me. I mean, like, yeah, I'll go to a Christmas party, I'll say Merry Christmas, shit like that. But the thing with Christmas is that for me, it doesn't really have an energetic connotation. That's me personally. If you celebrate Christmas and you really, really believe in it, and you believe the Christian definition of Christmas, then you might want to research actually where the Christmas celebration came from, which is basically a big pagan festival celebrating Lord Saturn. During this pagan festival, there were gift exchanges, there was gambling, there was drinking, there was debauchery, there was dressing up, there was also the adornment of the pileas, which is a hat, which is very interesting because when I looked up the definition of pileas, which stems from Latin,
of course it does,
I made another little, I'd be connecting abstract philosophies and things like that. When I looked up this definition, it actually translates to the word cape or the word hair. Now, obviously, I'm just going by research that I conducted online. Is that really what it meant? I mean, we're not going to really ever know if it actually breaks down into the word cape exactly, but I'm just letting you know what I saw. If we want to break down the word pileas, and we see that it means cape, and we want to take in the consideration that Saturn was considered the Dark Lord, which the Cult of Saturn and the Black Cube stem from, right? Because if he's the furthest planet away from the Earth, he is going to be seen as darker, less visible than the other planets that could be seen with the naked eye, which flat Earth, naked eye, or planets real, that's a whole other topic, but I'm just going by what the historical reference points are with Saturn. We have the Dark Lord, we have the Black Cube, and we have the hat, which translates into cape, which leads me to the Cult of Saturn. And the Cult of Saturn. David Icke has a lot of videos on that where he goes really in depth of it. This is going to be me just channeling what Lord Saturn wants me to let you all know. And if you so desire to view the other videos that I link below, I do go a little bit more into the Cult of Saturn. I go a little more in depth there, and I also talk about the Satanic Mafia because, you know, if we take the word Saturn, then we see how Satan can be derived from there, which also stems from ancient Latin. There's a lot of information out there regarding this topic historically. When I saw that the Peleus actually means a cape, I was like, oh my god,
Who the fuck wears a cape?
who might be into the black cube, the dark lord, worshipping Saturn, but a magician. Also, if we want to think of a cape, we can think that it's somewhat like a robe, which is what a judge wears, which is what is adorned when someone graduates from high school or college. And they also wear the hat, which if you look at it from the vantage point of looking down at it, you see that it also is a black cube. And we do know that there are black cube statues and symbolism all over Earth. What Saturn wants me to let you know is that the dark lord connotation, the black magic, all of that, it can seem a little bit sinister at face value. I do want to tell you, in the videos that I made,
I don't know, probably over a year ago at this point now, I don't remember when.
I have obtained more information in regards to this. I'm not going to delete those videos because it's always an evolution. There might be individuals that see those videos and to get their feet wet into what the Cult of Saturn is. Those videos have a little bit more of a sinister connotation to them. Obviously, we have a shadow aspect and a light aspect. In this video, I am going to be taking it a step further as my own consciousness has evolved. So this is going to be somewhat of an update on Saturnalia. I love saying it like that. And all of the abstract concepts that I saw. Lord Saturn wants me to let you know, if you want to think of it, it's a cult, but it's not a cult in terms of where you ain't invited, you can't sit with us type of jazz. It's more of an open invitation, which is why they do give the occult.
I just thought of that now. A cult, a cult, oh yeah.
Damn!
I love wordplay, don't you? Saturn, if we want to think of the Cult of Saturn, yes, we can have one branch of the Cult of Saturn is hyping up Christmas and the December solstice, which is the shortest daylight, at least where I am in the Northern Hemisphere. And that's where this was celebrated. You know, in ancient Rome and European countries, they are in the Northern Hemisphere too. So I don't know how it is in Australia and things like that. Just FYI, I don't know. I don't claim to know. But since this is where this stuff originated, I'm just going to go by the Northern Hemisphere. The days get colder, the daylight becomes shorter, hence bringing the darkness earlier. And we see that Saturnalia also can mean sun stop, like the sun stops becoming bright in the sky. It's like the shortest daylight, right? It stops at that point, and then it grows again from that point, from December 21st, the solstice. Now remember, the calendars change, so if you want to take a look at what the Julian calendar days are compared to the Gregorian calendar, then feel free to do so. Basically, it was the shortest daylight. And with Saturn, the Cult of Saturn, he wants me to let you know that with this sun stop and then growing again, this is part of the reason, and this is channeled information. I don't know if it's written anywhere else, but he's telling me this is the reason why Saturnalia is celebrated, and you know, the gift exchange, everything that I mentioned, the party, because it basically means carnival.
You know what I'm saying? It's like some good shit.
Is because Saturn is the representative of the harvest, right? That's why he has the sickle, the scythe.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Don't matter.
And you essentially reap what you sow. As things seem like they are getting darker, they are more obscured from your line of vision, you understand and you celebrate that every time the darkness comes, the light shall always begin again. That is what Saturn wants me to let you all know. This is why it is celebrated. This is why Saturn is worship. You could think of Saturn as a planet. You could think of Saturn as a god. You could think of Saturn as an energy that you could contain within yourself, or if you did not contain the very energy of Saturn within yourself, you wouldn't even know who Saturn was. Saturn has a big reputation, which is why he's representative of 10th house energy in astrology. He has a big reputation on the 3D earth plane. That is the house of status. He's associated with everything that you build from. So if you are conducting your work in the darkness, you understand that at certain points the darkness will stop and then you are beginning to grow again. It's a cycle.
Sickle, what Saturn carries. Oh yeah.
Cycle is always spiraling upward. Saturn is a representation of time, and Saturn is worshipped in part by the cult of Saturn because they understand that Saturn, if we want to break it down just energetically, he is Father Time. He is representative of the fourth dimension, the area that the magicians who wear the cape or the robe, the black cube representation. This is showing that the darkness, the 4D realm, representative of time, what lurks in the shadows shall always come to light. That is why when they do the occult symbolism, they must conduct that type of knowledge in somewhat of a veiled manner, because that's all of the energy of Saturn. As I said, as he is the dark lord, you're not just gonna shine a light on something that is supposed to be hidden, because the truth of the matter is that Saturn, whether you want to think of him as a planet or not, you can personify him however you want to do it. If you were not in resonance with the energy of Saturn, you wouldn't be here. He's like hyped up in astrology, so they talk about like Saturn return and all of that stuff. It's like a continuing cycle. The way that Saturn traverses the astrological chart, it's purportedly a big deal. Some things with astrology I take with a grain of salt, other things I don't, but if you resonate with the energy of like Saturn return, first Saturn return, second Saturn return, third, I don't know how many a humanoid lifespan would have, but you get the idea. You are purported to have learned lessons in that cycle and you grow from there. Just as Saturn, the days get shorter and then they speed up again. The sun stops and then it begins to get lighter, and that is a metaphorical representative of the harvest. That is why Saturn in astrology, even with the cult of Saturn, they understand that energy, that which you work at, because remember, Saturn is representative of rewards that ye shall reap on the 3D earthly plane. That is what your legacy, 10th house astrology, is going to showcase in regards to what you did, your work on the 3D plane, what you are going to be known for. Even if you are someone who is not in the public eye, you still will be recognized by what is going on with your Saturn placement, also what your 10th house has going on in it. Saturn is, in my view, just my experience with Saturn, Saturn is the greatest gift in one's astrological chart. This is why I am linking it together, why the black magicians, they have all of that Saturn worship going on, right? Because they understand the concept of time, and if you put energy into something without doing any physical labor, that is also considered work in Saturn's view. Yes, you shall reap physical, tangible rewards from the work that you put in, but that work doesn't necessarily have to be all physical. That work is also energetic, and working with the energy of Saturn is going to enable you to be the time bender. I do have another video in regards to that.
I watch videos on Saturn. I love him. Yes, I do. I love him.
Saturn, in my view, when I have dealt with Saturn, it never felt like work. Sure, there was effort, but it wasn't, for me personally, physical effort. It was more an area that I wanted to energetically perfect, because Saturn is about perfection. He is about integrity. He is about endurance. He's about, I'm the shit, I know what I'm talking about, right? So he's an expert in his field. Wherever you see representations of the cult of Saturn and Christmas shit and all of that, do know that yes, there can be malicious purposes for that, and there are also beneficial purposes for that. With regards to the cult of Saturn, this is simply an organization of individuals who understand, well, maybe not all of them, not everyone who is celebrating Saturnalia back in the day was aware of like the esoteric and occult philosophies, but you know, the ones who started it, right, the ones who are like the head honchos, they know what that's about. They know that that you shall have a vast legacy once you unlock the hidden key of Saturn. You unlock the hidden key of Saturn, occult knowledge, 4D energy, astral plane things, because that is a super highway that is connecting the 3D and the 5D, which I have other videos on that as well. The Cult of Saturn, yes, they can have this reputation as being ABC, XYZ, 1, 2, 3, whatever the fuck it is. And I'm not negating that some individuals who are a part of that have these type of intentions, but if we want to think of the Cult of Saturn, occult knowledge, a cult of Saturn, a cult, a following of the lessons of the rewards that ye shall reap on the 3D plane.
I don't know why I keep saying ye. Wait, is that Kanye? I don't know. Anyway.
Dark Lord, black magic, they do carry weight on the 3D plane, but think about it. If something is shrouded in darkness, such as occult knowledge, it just means that information is not shoved in your face. It's not shoved down anyone's throat like the mainstream media has stories out that are shoved down your throat where it's like spelled out for you. Occult knowledge goes beyond the veil. That is why it is cloaked in darkness. That is why we have the Cult of Saturn, the representation of the cape, the black cube. What you see in the dark, the effort that you make in the darkness, in the subconscious mind, in the shadow realms, it doesn't have to be physical effort. Ye shall be rewarded on the 3D plane in terms of your legacy. What you in your physical vessel right now is going to leave behind as like a memoir or something of that nature. That's why Saturn is representative of the devil energy as well with the tarot card Capricorn, because the devil, which is why probably he has a little bit of a bad reputation too, is really what type of things, what type of false obstacles, hidden obstacles are you creating for yourself? How you surpass those obstacles that are hidden in the dark because it's not illuminated. So it can seem scary working in the shadows, or as I call it, playing in the shadows, right? Like Saturn to me is just, he's all playtime. He has a reputation as being a limiter or a restrictor, but he's not. He's simply illuminating to the seeker how they are limiting themselves. He is a true neutral, true motherfucking neutral. He's like, this is what it is. I'm not going to leave breadcrumbs for you, but I kind of am, if that makes any type of sense. So with the knowledge of Saturn, I am not denying that there is a cult of Saturn and there can be nefarious goings on there. But really the cult of Saturn, if we want to look at it from the opposite end of the spectrum, as I know from my evolution now, from the time that I filmed those other videos, there are also positives, and it's metaphorical and it's available. That occult knowledge is available to everyone. The invitation is open, the knowledge is there. Yes, it's shrouded in secrecy like one eye and shit. Is it accessible to everyone? Does everyone have the power to become part of the cult of Saturn? Does everyone have the power within themselves to leave a legacy? Whatever that word means to you. For some, it might just be leaving your grandchild your yacht. For others, it might be public fame, recognition, things of that nature. But everyone's path is different. But the answer is yes, everyone does have the ability for that illumination to join the cult of Saturn, and not in a way where you are worshiping Saturn as in he's greater than you.
No.
The way that he is conveying to me is that the cult of Saturn essentially means you are tuning into that Saturnian energy that resides within everyone, right? Everyone knows who Saturn is. He's the only one that has an emoji in the fucking iPhone and Android. He's the only one that has an emoji. I wonder why. He's like, that's right. Everyone does have access to that. It's just, are you willing to snoop around in the shadows, the occult side, the dark side? Are you willing to put on your magician cape? Are you willing to conduct these experiments? Are you willing to dabble in areas that might not necessarily be physically tangible to leave a legacy for yourself in the 3D plane that is physically tangible? So that's what he wanted me to discuss with you today. It can seem a little bit shady, because things are operating in the darkness, but that does not mean that there is not an open invitation to everyone to actually traipse around in the darkness, find their own magic. They put in the energetic effort to reap physical rewards. And Saturn, in comparison to Jupiter, Saturn is seen as a limiter or a restrictor, and Jupiter is seen as the free gift in astrological standpoint. But Saturn, and I'm not, Jupiter, he a great motherfucker too, both of them, I love them all equally, they all have their gifts, but it's just that Saturn, with his bad reputation, is the gift that you give yourself, because the area in your natal chart where you have Saturn is the area that you most likely, and this is just what I've observed from different charts over the years and things like that, just observations, the area where Saturn is, you're gonna want to put in that effort there. So it's not necessarily gonna feel like work, as in work, the 4-letter word. It's going to seem like playtime, which is another 4-letter word.
Playtime.
Oh yeah.
And this is something that you want to excel in. You want to gather your expertise so you could be a leading authority, just like Saturn. He sits at the midheaven, the highest point on the natal chart. That is your recognition, because you want to be recognized for that area. You want to. I'm telling you, take a look at your Saturn placement. Take a look. You're going to find some interesting things there. This kind of went all over the place, but this is more of like an update to the previous videos that I have. And as I evolve, I'm going to leave all the videos up that have pertinent information, because there are different individuals that they might be in resonance with this level, and then as they progress, they might be in resonance with that level. So it's as I progress along, I acquire more knowledge, and I will continue to acquire more knowledge. So I will continuously keep updating my content, and it's not in a way where I am contradicting myself. It's in a way where at that point in time, I was in resonance with that, because that was the information that I was ready to receive, and to understand that information that propelled me forward to be at the point of resonance I am at now. And then I upgrade the information that I am presenting to you, and I'll upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. You're always spiraling upward. It is a cycle. You tend to come back around to the same things, but everything is always an upgrade. That is what I have for you today. Mwah. Thank you, Lord Saturn. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful stroll today. I am Oculus, the alien next door. We will chit-chat again soon.